So, getting ready to finish putting my stiff slab piece together. Rolling coils. I figured I'd talk a little bit about rolling coils. I'm rolling this on my marine vinyl, and I guess I could roll it on the other side. That doesn't have the cloth, but I put a wet area to roll into, and I do a full roll. If it gets lumpy, I turn both ends in opposite directions, and just not a lot of pressure. Just let it roll. So it's getting better. Keep pushing the ends in. Start in the middle. My hands are spread out. Fingers. And keep going. I want to make this approximately a pencil thick, maybe a little bit thicker. And I'll show you after I'm done rolling this where I am in this process. I'm thinking now, I want to make sure this thing doesn't leak, and I want to be able to smooth the coils in at the bottom, and I'm thinking of ways how I can get into the form while I put the top piece on. Let me go get that form. This is a little bit thicker, but it might be good for the bottom. I'll show you. So, here's the other coils that I have. I'm going to just put them aside and keep them wet and in plastic. Coils, you want to use fresh clay. I used some reclaim that's super moist. So now I have enough of these to fill it in. So this is what I've done so far. Everything is, I have a coil all in here. The side wall is attached to this. And my concern is I want to be able, especially from like here down, to make sure that this isn't going to leak, because I kind of have an idea to make this a vase / candle holder. So we'll see what happens. So now what I'm going to do, I'll fix that. After it's all together, then I'll come back and fix those areas. So what I'm going to do is start putting these coils on. I kind of sprayed this. It got a little soft. That's okay. It's not ruined until it's ruined. So I'm going to get my scoring tool. I'm using a couple different things. So I have this. I have this one, a Mud Tools one. That's good for getting in these corners. Pretty dirty. I have this. This is, if you only are going to get one, serrated rib. I like this one. I have vinegar slip. And usually when I'm building, I don't apply slip. I just use vinegar and score. But for this, I am applying slip for the join, because I'm working with stiff slabs and they're just not as forgiving as something that you're making that's leather, more leather hard. And like I said, I want to make sure this holds water. Cross your fingers. All right. So I'm going to score here. I'm also going to score. I'm going to apply the coil. I do this even if I have access from the top. I'm going to score here on the side, because I'm going to apply the coil before I put the top piece on. Score, score. Oh, cut my finger on that serrated rib. I will live. Oops. Score, score, score. So to get in here, I'll use the littler rib. Littler scoring tool. And they come in different serrated sizes. I have one that's a micro mini. I really don't like that too much. I like the ones that have a bigger, that have less. So the less number of serrations per inch gives you a fatter serrations. Okay, now I'm going to apply some slip. I have a brush I'm going to use. And all this is, I like keeping my little pieces of scrap, and I just keep them bone dry because I can just put them in vinegar or water and they immediately flake into slip. So I'm going to put this on here. And then I'll show you how I put the coil on first and prepare it for the top piece. I like doing this when I make cups. I really do a self coil sort of thing where I make sure the joint is very gushy so it gushes out of the seam and I can brush it in. But here I'm trying to take every precaution. I have had very bad experiences with things leaking. I'm a little bit gun shy. So I'm using slip. Doop, doop, doo, doo. And then I'll go back and score it. Score through the slip. And it'll be nice and gooey to accept the top piece. All right, so I'm going to put the coil on just this little area to show you. And then I'll turn this off and resume filming. So here's this fat old, you know what? I'll score this even. I'm really being cautious. I do not want you to leak. I'm thinking good, happy thoughts that this will hold water so nicely. All right, so I'm going to start here. Get my serrations going here. And notice I'm placing it a little bit above where the wall starts. And that is because I'm going to score across the coil and the wall to create a really good wider area of attachment. So that's all I have done. And so now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to support this. And I'm scoring across both. So now instead of just having, I think the walls of this are about 3/16. I have about a 1/2 inch or 5/8 of an attachment area for putting that on. And what I'm thinking is after I get this coil all the way on, I am going to attach the top piece, but not right here. So I can get a tool in here and smooth the coil up onto the top piece. I'll show you the top piece real quick. So the top piece is waiting patiently for me. So what I'm thinking is I'll put the coil on, but just, I don't know, somehow leave this with an opening that I can sneak into. I think I'll need a lot of area. That's all right. Building brain cells, trying to figure this out as I go. Alrighty. I'll pick up again when I'm done the whole coil.